Hello and welcome to my solar eclipse video. This is the video for the solar eclipse on June 10th, and we are now in the so-called eclipse gateway, which is the gateway between one eclipse and the other. It can be a lunar and a solar, or it can be a solar and a lunar, and that has different qualities. Also, every eclipse has different intensities, which depends on other planets, which depends on the cycle that we're in, because there are different eclipse cycles. But I would say that this eclipse is an eclipse that has to do with dreaming your world, a new world into being, and I will come to that later when I talk about the astrology. But I would first talk a little bit about what cards I have drawn. And the cards I have drawn are Grace, Passion, Sacred Garden, and as an extra card I have pulled Vesta, and Vesta is about healing. And it is interesting to me that these cards now talk a lot about healing and about divine grace, because if you have seen my last video, you know that it was a lot about pain in the total lunar eclipse. I can link it up here or here in one of those corners. In these gateways, the emphasis is different. Sometimes when a solar eclipse is before a lunar eclipse, it can be that it is more about a process of reflection that needs to be happened before we can go into the future, or that we are walking into the future while we are still reflecting on the past or have baggage from the past. But in this cycle, everything is moving towards the future, and the letting go process that we had in the lunar eclipse was also, I cannot live with this baggage of pain when I want to sail to new shores. And in Gemini, with the Mercury, with the emphasis on Mercury, it has a lot to do with traveling to new shores. I would say this solar eclipse is about finding your passion again. It is about allowing your soul to come in to find your passion again, after letting go of the past, after letting go of all the pain that happened, to really say, what is the passion after I let go, after I shed my skin like a snake? What is my true passion? What is my soul longing to live? And this solar eclipse is an invitation to say, there is a saying that says, follow your bliss. And I would say this solar eclipse has a lot to do about follow your bliss, dream a new world into being, and follow your bliss, follow the joy that is in your heart. Your joy will guide you. In the astrology, there is a lot about Neptune and the veils of illusion and the veils of uncertainty. So your mind might not really know where to go, but your soul knows, your heart knows, your joy knows. Follow your bliss. This is really the message of the solar eclipse. And with Vesta, Vesta is the goddess that stands for the light that comes in, the priestess that channels the light. She was the goddess that was around the fire in every home. She brought light and sacredness into every home, and allowing this light to enter us and to trust that this guidance that comes from above, that comes from other realms, and grace has to do with also being open for miracles to happen, being open for sudden realizations or sudden solutions that will come, that you cannot expect, that you cannot think. That is a part of the divine mystery, and to allow that to happen, to allow the divine mystery to be upon you, and to follow your joy and your bliss in that, and to trust that you are guided and you are protected, and that in your dreaming your new world into being, don't get lost in constructs in your head, but follow your joy also in the way you dream your new world into being. This would be my recommendation or my advice from the cards. It is not so much in the constructs, it is not so much in the detail, it is about, or the concrete, but what can I do? It is about the joy that you feel, and following your joy will guide you, will be your best compass in the ocean of the unknown that is the future. Follow your joy. That is the recommendation or the advice from the cards. And it is really interesting because when I look at the astrology, I will also go through the houses, what the solar eclipse will mean for you when you have a certain ascendant. But I will first talk a little bit about the astrology of this solar eclipse. So we have a Mercury retrograde that starts on May 29th. When the solar eclipse will be, the Mercury retrograde will still be happening, and this retrograde Mercury will be conjunct the Sun and the North Node on around 20 degrees of Gemini, and Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. I mean, some say that, or generally spoken, Mercury is also the ruler of Virgo. For me it is Vesta, because Vesta is the priestess that lets the light in and brings it into the earth. And to me this has a lot to do with Virgo, and not so much this fast and flexible and trickster energy of Mercury. But definitely Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. To me, Mercury is, this is his perfect home. Mercury is very, very strong in Gemini. But it is still retrograding, so it is, it has a double message, which with Gemini doesn't have difficulties with double messages. I mean, Gemini is the sign of double message. If you know people who have a very strong Gemini imprint in their chart, or have a strong Mercury, then you know that these are people that are two-faced, and they have no difficulty to change their viewpoint from one minute to the other. They are not fixed in their beliefs, which is positive, but also can be this trickster energy, what I was talking about. And I would like to also talk a little bit about Mercury, because it's fascinating that Mercury is actually the son of Zeus or Jupiter, which is the opposite sign in Sagittarius, is ruled by Jupiter. So Mercury is the son of Jupiter or Zeus, and the Pleiad Maya. And Maya is the Sanskrit word of illusion. So he is the son of belief, of knowing, of vision, and the field of illusions. Mercury is able to transcend things and cross borders. Mercury is a synonym for crossing borders, and in tradition everyone who was connected to Mercury, like thieves, like people who were trading goods, like magicians, all those people are connected to Mercury, and all those people are in their way crossing borders. Mercury is the only one who can travel between the upper world and the lower world. Mercury accompanies the dead into the underworld and brings messages to the gods and from the gods. So he is really always be able to cross the lines. And I would say that the biggest ability of our mind, or the biggest quality of our mind, is to cross our personal limitations and the limitations we feel around us. Sometimes we feel that there is a certain pain in us that has no voice, that is so deep and so profound that, yeah, there is no voice. But the moment we are able to give voice to the unspeakable, to give voice to that deep pain, their transformation can happen. So I would say Mercury is also connected to magic. In its shadow, it is connected to the trickster energy, the magic that plays with people, the magic that plays with whatever he likes. He's also the mischievous one, the one who likes to play tricks on people. As I said, it can also be connected to thieves and liars. And we have a Neptune square to Mercury. So like, for example, Trump has a Neptune-Mercury square. So there we have the perfect trickster or liar, the one that really not so much transforms reality, maybe in a way he did, but in a very, let's say, challenging way. But it can be the trickster energy that deforms reality for their own advantage. This is the shadow of Mercury. But Mercury always brings movement to life, it brings change to life, it brings new impulses. Those that were trading goods brought also new cultural knowledge with them, new philosophies with them, new adventures with them. Life needs to be interconnected and interwoven, and Mercury is the perfect planet to do that. But in this solar eclipse, as I said, Mercury is retrograde, and with this square from Neptune, I would say there will be a slowing down. It won't go as fast as we want to, and it will be a lot more dreamy as we maybe sometimes would like to. I would say our ability to have good strategies is also very Neptunian right now, is also under the veils of Neptune. Neptune has no boundaries, Neptune has no limits. So in a way, our mind is now really able to dream without limits. There is a window in time to dream ourselves anew and to do that in a very limitless way. But if we think this is a time to really make good strategies, to make the best communications, to sign contracts, to get things structured and in order, to move as fast as we would like to change things as fast as we wish to, then I would say we might be disillusioned after a while, because this is not a time to move fast or to be so fixated on fast results. This is not a solar eclipse of fast results. This is a solar eclipse that invites you to take your time to dream your world anew and to be courageous in that, and to say, I allow myself to dream limitless. I allow the passion of my soul, that the passion and the grace of other dimensions, that they come in, because with the square from Neptune there is a lot of other dimensional energy coming in to change us, to change our view of the world. And as we saw with the Sagittarius total lunar eclipse, there is a lot of pain that we had to let go, and to say, okay, now I shed my skin and now I take time to be anew. And also the next summer solstice, Mercury will still be in its retrograde. I think it is stationary on June 22nd, so it is about to change direction, but it is still retrograde. So even in the next summer solstice chart, there is this retrograde moment. So I would say the next months won't move as fast as we wish to. This solar eclipse has also Ceres on Uranus squaring Saturn. So there is this moment of moving forward and restrictions, moving forward and restrictions. I would say this is the energy of the whole year. This is also seen in the solar eclipse. We move forward, but then we have to adjust. But it is a beautiful opportunity to dream a new world into being and to invite your soul's calling fully. And with that soul's calling, all what is needed for the soul's calling to live optimally in this world, to serve this world optimally, and all the relationships that are needed for this, and all the circumstances that are needed for this, and to say, I dream a new and better world for myself and others. During the solar eclipse we have Pluto opposing Mars, and this has to do with power struggles. So in this solar eclipse there is also a message about we still have to be aware of the power struggles we sometimes have inside of us and around us. So Pluto is squaring Aries and Mars, so I would say there is still a social tension, there is still a social violence going on, it is still a social unrest. And with Uranus squaring Saturn, there is this moment of restriction and pushing against, restriction and pushing against. So it is a bumpy moment in time. The world is not as stable as we wish to. And with Ceres and Uranus, I would say there might be also some earthquakes, there might be some sudden events in nature, or even extreme events in nature. This might be a summer of extremes. We have to find the stability inside, and we have to dream a new world into being. So I now talk about what it will mean, the solar eclipse, in your chart. So if you have a Gemini ascendant, then I would say you can really literally dream yourself into a new being, your personality, the way you look, the way you want to present yourself in the world. This is really a time for dreaming yourself anew and daring to dream yourself anew. If you have a Taurus ascendant, then the solar eclipse is in your second house. So it is about a new relationship towards money, a new relationship towards your body, a new relationship how you value things and how you value yourself, and especially your body. If you have an Aries ascendant, this solar eclipse is in your third house. So it is about how do I relate to my direct neighbors, how do I relate to my siblings, how do I communicate, and to really dream this area of your life into a new existence. So maybe it is time to really have a new relationship with your neighbors, and don't think too much in the closet and where you think things always should be. There might be a new way to communicate with your neighbors, or to live with your neighbors, or a new way to talk to your siblings, or maybe also a new way to make short trips, because the third house sometimes also can be about short trips. If you have a Pisces ascendant, then the solar eclipse is in your fourth house. And in your fourth house, it is a lot about dreaming the way you want to live, the way you want to feel safe in this world anew, and to dare to dream this anew. And with Gemini in the fourth house, to be maybe more daring, because Pisces is very sensitive, to say maybe I don't need that much protection. Maybe I can be more open with this world and more daring, more crossing borders like Mercury does. So really being more open with this world and dreaming your personal safety zone anew. If you have an Aquarius ascendant, this solar eclipse is in your fifth house, and this will bring a new relationship towards children, towards a lover, towards sex. Though there is a new way of how do I want to experience pleasure anew, to really experiment with that. I mean, Aquarius loves to experiment and to be adventurous. So be adventurous with the way you experience pleasure. Be amazed by that, and be amazed by new possibilities, and follow your joy in that. And if you have a Capricorn ascendant, then the solar eclipse is in your sixth house. So it is about maybe a new work surroundings, dreaming a new way of being of service, dreaming a new way of diet into being, and saying, I dare to experiment in my mind how I would actually like to work, how I would like to have my daily routine, because the sixth house has also to do with daily routine, how I want to take care of my body, of my health, and how I want to be of service. and to really take your time to dream this into new being. If you have a Sagittarius ascendant, then this solar eclipse is in your 7th house. So this will bring new relationships. There is something old that is eclipsed away to bring a new way how you relate to others, and that this area of your life is what is beautiful, it is a time that this area of your life will be dreamt anew, and to give this to really blossom in a new way. If you have a Scorpio ascendant, then it is in your 8th house, and your 8th house is your field of contracts, of really deep, intimate relationships, of any form that has to do with dependency. It is the Scorpio house, so it is something that is familiar to you where the solar eclipse is. My very, very intimate relationships, my relationship with money from other people, with goods from other people, with resources from other people. I want that to be new. I want to have new, maybe also soul contracts, and I take time to dream this into new being, and I follow the joy, I follow what is right for me. And with your Scorpio ascendant, you can trust your gut instinct in that. If you have a Libra ascendant, then it is in your 9th house, and it is about dreaming the way you think, the way you understand this world, the way you communicate, the way you believe into a new reality. For everyone who has a Libra ascendant, it is a time to dream big and to dare to dream big, and to let the old way, what you believed before in the past, and to say, I dare to dream anew, I dare to dream my life anew, and I dare to be open for new inspiration and for new what my soul wants, to let that really, really come in. If you have a Virgo ascendant, then it is in your 10th house. And in your 10th house, it had a lot to do with your calling, and with your calling, I mean your soul's calling into this world, who I want to be in this world, and to dream that anew and to follow your joy. I mean, Virgo likes to strategize and likes to organize, and is a very good strategist and planner, but to leave that behind and to say, I'm courageous and I dare to follow my bliss and to follow the divine, and to come back into my Virgo quality of the priestess, and to really channel what my soul wants and the bliss of my soul, and follow that and trust that it will bring a new life for me, a new calling, new blossoms, a new horizon that I will sail to. If you have a Leo ascendant, then the solar eclipse is in your 11th house. So it is about new friendships, new circles of people, and new ways you want to interact with different pieces in your life, different groups in your life, different where you thought, oh, this cannot be connected, and to say, okay, I dream this anew. I want to be open to experience new relationship with friends, new relationships with colleagues, and new networks. It is about a new network that will bring a huge change in your life. And finally, if you have a Cancer ascendant, this is in your 12th house. So, I mean, you could almost say that for the Cancer ascendants, this is dreamt for you. You just have to meditate and to open all your senses and to let it in, to let in what your soul says. So it is, the more you're able to let go into the calling of your soul, the more you are on track. It is more a time of retreat, and it is more a time of inner listening, of listening to your soul than listening to other people. I mean, Mercury likes to communicate all the time. For all the Cancer ascendants, there will be a very strong dream life. And trust your dreams, trust the guidance that comes in. from other dimensions. I would say this is what I see for the solar eclipse in all the houses. So I hope this was helpful for you. I wish you a wonderful time to dream the new world or your new world into being. Let your prayer be that your best will be also the best for everyone, and that the best that happens to you will bring also the best for everyone else. And I wish that you find your highest potential that is for the highest good of all that is. Till next time, namaste.